So once again, one of the biggest killers in expired listings are overpricing properties when listed. And I just reviewed now an expired listing, and I went on this appointment and I reviewed the listing. I just took a brief look at Zillow and it wasn't rocket science, and it was obvious to me that this property was overpriced, listed 6 months before. They started with $2.3 million, went down every month by $100,000, and the final price was $1.7 million, whereas the property was still overpriced by a good $150,000. Now the seller was furious. Seller was shocked with what happened. You know, there was no activity, no one showed up at open houses. The realtor they hired failed to communicate as needed. And why would somebody overprice a property by so much? So I asked the seller, is it you that decided, or you set that price? And if it's you that set that price, what was this price that you set based on? Did you do any research? And she broke down in tears and she told me, no, it wasn't my idea. It's the realtor that deceived the right information from me. He lied to me. He told me that he has buyers that nobody else has, and their firm is positioned to get buyers that nobody else would have. And he feels confident and comfortable that he can get them the price of $2.3 million. Now think about that. Do you want to be in that same position when listing your property, or were you in the same position when you listed your property? And don't forget, we're all human. People get blinded when it comes to money. Obviously, you want to get the most for your property, but if the numbers aren't there, let's not kid ourselves and let's not fool ourselves. People did buy properties in that area in the last 6 months. Over 70 properties sold in that zip code, similar to the one that expired. I'm not talking about condos and co-ops, let alone condos and co-ops and other kind of homes, multifamilies. Typical one-family homes, similar size, similar lot size, similar structure. They all sold, but guess what? They sold for $700,000-$800,000 less, and the buyers were out there. Even if the rates were high, even if there was a recession, whatever it was, it doesn't matter. People are always buying homes, and there's a buyer for every property, but you gotta price your property right. I hope you find this information useful, and if you went through the same thing, I really feel bad for you. Reposition yourself, start anew, turn the page, and if you really want to move, then think on how to price properties, and make sure you have factual data, not just what other listings are out there that are also not selling. That's not going to help you much. It's like a story where somebody called up a stockbroker and he told them, hey, you know, my portfolio went down 60% in value. And he told him, you know what, it's not so bad, others lost 80%. That doesn't help him. So the fact that others don't sell their properties doesn't help you sell your property. If you really want to sell your property and you have moving plans, make sure it's priced right, make sure you hire the right agent, make sure your property has curbside appeal, make sure you Photoshop it right, and make sure that your agent is communicating properly with you, because if he's not communicating with you, guess what? He's not communicating with the buyers either not. So make sure that you do your research, you have a big chunk of money that you're putting on the table, and you make sure that you hire the right ethical agent and honest agent. And if he can't show you factual data, what he's basing a price on, I don't think you should hire that agent. So if you did it based on that, you did it to yourself. I feel sorry for you once again. Again, do your research right and do things right. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.